Uh-oh. I lost my guess.
I've arrived. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're good. Welcome back to Lesson Learned. We are a Mythcraft TTRPG conversation. Today we're going to be covering the Fiendblood lineage. I am Corey Griffin, and with me today I have.
Hey, I'm Kobe Randolph.
All right. So, do we have anything? Okay, I guess some just like basic introduction on what Fiendbloods are. Probably make a little bit of sense before we just jump right into like height and weight and everything like that.
Yeah.
So fiend bloods are the result of fiends in Mythcraft and humanoid creating a twisted offspring. Um, Not always in like the getting down and dirty kind of way, because some of it's just you make a deal with a fiend kind of thing. You know,
Yeah. They are quite fun. Most of the time, they look perfectly normal for the first few years of their life, and then as they grow, usually a fiend, either horns, their skin turn the grayish color, the reddish of the whatever type of fiend they were associated with. So it doesn't always apparent right at birth.
right? So like I think one of my favorite things about like fiend bloods in Mythcraft, right, is that it's not always like doing the do that leads to fiend bloods.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's just your mama made a deal and you're having to pay the price.
I've I was the firstborn that was given up, so now I got some cool ass horns. Damn.
Right, right. Like instead of the face stepping up, it's just these guys.
Do
Um,
you want to start with the basic traits?
oh, probably not a bad idea.
Mhm.
I'm actually fixing a quick stream thing.
Well, yeah. So fiend bloods to start out with some of their like basic traits. Their height varies from 4'8" to 6'5", which I love this because this is one of the things we've talked about in a previous episode, where certain lineages where they take over a mass majority, they should have a very big range. I think it was the Raideen we were talking about last time, and we kind of went into a tangent about they're all tall when it says Raideen when a Kleppen should be short. So this is really cool that they have it. Still think it'd be a little smaller.
I was about
Personally,
to get into it.
I was gonna. It's closer to what I want. Is all I'm saying.
I'll take that it's closer, right? But again, you have some really small lineages that all come under this 4'8" kind of like size category. However, I have less of a problem with these guys than I do the Raideen, because it can always be explained that you're a very large Kleppen
Yeah, the
because of
fiend.
the influence of the fiend, right?
Yeah,
So I have a less like why what's going on kind of thing
come
with
on, man.
this,
What you doing,
right?
bro?
And more of a
But
more
yeah,
of a
closer.
like
It's like, yeah, we can slide with this one.
yeah, like this one makes sense, right? I'm not super frustrated about this one. Not that I'm super frustrated about the Raideen one. It's just like I see you and I disagree with you.
But yeah, going along that, their weight it also quite a range from 80 to 250 pounds, with a size of medium and the base move speed 20 feet, as long with everybody else.
Yeah, so I do have like a few. Again, weight is such a I don't like it, right? Because even just using like base humans at adult human men as an example, you have people that range from 160 pounds at a fairly easy estimate all the way up to, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1,000 pounds, right? So like, I feel like when our one lineage could be that spanning, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is supposed to cover multiple lineages of much differing heights and everything else. I don't know,
There's
bro.
arguments to be made for sure.
I'm not saying we're all like strongest man of all times, clocking in at like 420, 450 pounds, right? But like, if you're making a fiend blood that's super big on strength, you should be able to. Again, I understand that this is like recommended weights and stuff like that. So that's probably why I haven't went on to this rant that I've had that could be relatively consistent across all of them. That while there is a gap in weight all the time, it's almost too consistent the way
Yeah,
it is.
I get what you're saying.
Um, Now that is all to go into this appearance bit. So,
Which
like we were
I
talking about earlier, fiend bullets generally resemble a typical member of the species that they were born into, until they reach their 16th birthday, where they undergo their first transformation, and all manner of changes occur. They might sprout twisted goat horns, or like spines, wicked claws, or fangs, a spiked tail, or even bat-like wings. Their skin could become like molted red, gray, green. Their eyes may fade to like a solid black or like a dull red. These are all just examples because literally you could come up with so many with the fiends in Mythcraft
It's so much
that
fun.
though I am
Yeah,
kind of
next.
picturing
Oh,
like a Hondu uh, fiend blood that just gets like long 14-inch spines going down their back.
ooh. I love the flavor you can do in making the fiend bloods. Just any so much fun. It's
Yeah,
we
fiend
have
blood.
I think
Sorry.
four, yeah, four sub lineages when it comes to our fiend bloods,
Is it four? I thought it was. Yeah, it is four. Shit.
and I
And each
do not
one
know how
has
to
a
say a
little.
single one of them.
You can't.
I don't know how to pronounce. I'm looking at them. I'm like, I could give it a shot, but I don't think any of my pronunciations are going to be right.
Okay. Well, I'll do the first one, and then I'll let you try the rest of them. So the first one's going to be the sanguineth blooded. Those of sanguineth blood must forever fight against their baser urges. Sorry about that, y'all. Of their lineage, they, you know, super like excess and overindulgence just like defines their lineage. The sanguineth typically appear the most humanoid of their lineage, as the fiendish influence usually comes through in very subtle ways. Think like slit blood red eyes, or like extra long double jointed, well, I guess like quadruple jointed fingers. Those that embrace their blood might have limbs that look quite long and sinewy, and their teeth might appear just a little bit too sharp.
Next, we have the Melanith. Um, the Melanith reside in the Black City of Durlasoth. Um, and Melanith fiend bloods usually have wispy hair of black or white, shriveled features. A dour nature comes with the blood, and many Melaneth fiend bloods find an unconscious stirring in their souls when the opportunity for a deal or imparting of dark wisdom arises.
See, there's so much flavor in this that like I want to play this and then play like a con track rogue, like a con artist track rogue,
Oh
or
yeah.
no, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Save them for the end, my friend.
So the next one that we have is the Kolareth Blooded. The Kolareth are fiends of a singular desire to dominate or slaughter anyone who stands in their way. And threads of this notion often weave their way into the lives of their fiend bloods. These individuals are physically imposing and they typically force their way into positions of leadership. Horns and spines are common along with like curled claws and thin lashing tails. Perfect for beating your army to go faster.
And then last but not least, we have the Phlegmareth blooded. Phlegmareth blooded. It is said that the Phlegmareth are the source of all known illness and disease, and those that share their blood might enforce the idea with sickly, pale skin, skull-like features, and any number of swollen knots or nodules. It is surprising that most Phlegmariths show an unusual strength of both body and will that belly this appearance. The fervent, often zealous nature of their heritage difficult for such fiend bloods to escape, and they must be always tempered against losing themselves in a cause or a belief.
All right. So the lifespan of all fiend bloods, they reach maturity, like we talked a little bit earlier, at age 16, and naturally live to be about 70 to 90 years old. Which again brings that like sad. I think we talked about it before, where like
Yep.
imagine you're an elf that gives birth to a fiend blood.
Yikes.
And then you could also go like the other way about it and imagine being a Kleppen giving birth to a fiend blood. It's like, why is my child not growing right? Since Kleppen reach maturity quicker than that.
Yeah, that'd be funny. It's like such a fun. I'm a late bloomer. Actually, blooms to having giant tail, horns sprouting out of you. Your skin's a different color. It's like, oh, is it what puberty's like? No, my son. I'm sorry.
What would be really funny is if you just went with like a badger Kleppen and your claws got longer, of course, but they're just slightly longer than a normal badger, right? And you got sharp teeth, but you've kind of always had sharp teeth.
I'm just feeling kind of normal. Huh? Oh, is that my camera going out?
All right. So again, as we've talked about a few times with the lineages that have sublineages. So fiend blood features. Just gonna start here. Blood transformation. Once per rest, fiend blood share an intimate connection with the chaotic plane of Inferno and can temporarily embrace their fiendish nature without risk of losing their mortal selves. For 1 minute after activating this feature, your fiendish traits become even more pronounced and you lose nearly all of your humanoid characteristics. You also get unique features, which you choose one option from the all fiend blood features down on the below at level 1. So this is the only sublineage track that you also get a unique feature.
Which is quite fun. I love that bit about it. Do you want to start with the sublineage features?
Yeah, I'll go into it. So, and as I look at them, I can understand why. Because what the sublineage features do is they give you a a different change to your transformation for your blood transformation. And that's it. It's not like most of your other things where you get kind of one combat ability and one kind of non-combat ability. This is just modifying that base ability with the
Mm-hmm.
sublineages. So
All
with the
right.
sanguineth
Love.
blooded, you get sanguine revelry. While your blood transformation feature is active, you may spend 4 AP to attempt to drive a living humanoid into a frenzy. Choose one target and attack their willpower with your charisma. If successful, the target is suddenly. Hi, Dan. Thank you for popping in. Um,
Sorry about my dogs if you can hear them.
oh, no, you're fine. I noticed we had chat, so I wanted to mention something. Um, if successful, the target is overcome by a fit of ecstatic madness. On their next turn, they must attack the closest creature, whether that creature is friend or foe. I do love the idea of doing this as like someone who's running a high charisma based controller. So
Mm-hmm.
you could go with like a troubadour or a cleric. There's a lot of fun that builds later.
Yeah, come on, Spaz. I know we could talk about him the whole stream if we started, but our next transformation for the Melanith blooded, Creeping Dread. While your blood transformation is active, you may spend 4 AP to attempt to sow a primal fear in those near you. You must make a charisma attack against the will of all creatures within 15 feet. If successful, these creatures are struck with the broken condition until the end of their next turn,
All right.
which
And for those of you that are wondering, I'm going to bring up the broken condition because that's actually quite strong.
it is a great condition. I got it if you need it.
Now go ahead. You just beat me to it barely.
Okay. You are frightened and shaken. You must use all available movement to retreat from perceived danger.
Okay. So I guess we should probably go into what frightened and shaken are.
Yep.
You want to grab
uh,
frightened? I'll get shaken.
yep. So frightened. You have TD while the source of fear is in sight and cannot willingly move closer to the source of your fear.
And with shaking, you suffer a -2 penalty to all d20 rolls. So effectively, what you're getting is a -3,
And
and they
running
have to
all
move
the
away from
way.
you.
Oh, it's so sad. Oh, broken so bad.
I love it.
Ooh,
That
I
is
want to crack
great.
an energy drink now that I just saw you. Oh, caffeine. Ooh, I've been hand delivered one.
Right. All right. So up next, we have the. Uh, I don't remember how I said it earlier, so we're just gonna go with Kolareth,
I
blooded.
think that's right. I think that's how you said it. I think that's the same.
Sweet. It's gonna be Warbringer. While your blood transformation feature is active, you may spend 4 AP to inspire up to 2 allies within 30 feet to bring death and carnage. Those allies do an additional 2 damage whenever they hit an enemy for a number of rounds equal to your charisma +1 for a minimum of 1 round.
Oh my god. I just got some build ideas. All I gotta say, but we can talk about those later. I love
Yeah.
that so much. That is, I love when I learn things through these, man.
Hey, it's probably the reason I absolutely adore Lesson Learned.
So good. And then we got the Phlegmareth. I flag. I feel like you gotta like you have to actually have phlegm to say this. You know what I mean? That's how I feel you need to.
To be honest, it's how I'd say it too. It's Phlegmarith.
But this is pestilent blessing. While your blood transformation feature is active, you spend 4 AP to attempt to inflict a living creature with the gift of Phlegmareth. Choose one target and attack their fort with your endurance. If successful, the target becomes covered in painful pustules and becomes sickened until the end of their next turn. You may make the check again at the end of the target's turn without expending AP. If successful, the condition repeats for another turn, but ends after the second turn.
And what the second condition is whenever you roll a d20, you roll two d20s and take the lower result. That is strong. That
Oh,
is just on demand. You're not going to hit as hard as you want. It's going to become much harder for you to hit if I can overcome your fortitude with my endurance. It's a big if sometimes, but
yeah.
it's there.
Bringing us to the all Fiend Blood feature. This is where you can pick one unique feature at level 1 with these.
Yeah, and then you get more at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 29.
Our first one is Ancestral Communion. Once a rest while sleeping, you may attempt to commune with the fiends related to your sublineage. Roll 1d20. On an 11 or higher, you successfully contact a fiend determined by the MC. You may ask this fiend 3 questions, after which the communion ends. The fiend is under no obligation to answer honestly or even to answer at all.
I love this, right? And maybe it's just from like a world building perspective or just like as an MC, I love it when people bring skills to, and traits to the table that are just like, I want to talk to this person who's probably not a good person, but I
It's
want to
so
know
good.
them.
I absolutely love it.
All right. So the next one that we have is Blood Transformation 2. The prerequisites are Blood Transformation and Character Level 5. The effect is Blood Transformation becomes twice per rest. You get twice as many blood transformations.
Do
It's
play.
strong.
Ooh.
We'll get into it later.
And then Blood Transformation 3. You do it 3 times.
Yeah, and the only you need
Oh
Blood
yeah, level
Transformation.
15.
Yeah, you have to be character
And
level 15.
I
So
forgot about that part. I can't read, guys.
it's
Sorry.
okay. It's okay. You're getting there. You're getting there. All right, the next one that we have are claws. Your fingernails grow long, sharp, and rigid, taking on a dark, bloody hue. You gain a special attack that costs 2 AP and deals 1d4 sharp damage on a hit. This is considered a natural weapon, and you can use your choice of strength or dexterity for attack and damage rolls. Strong. I mean, better weapons, right?
Yep.
They're strong.
Can't disarm me if I am the weapon.
We can try.
Our next one brings us to Draining Touch for your endurance every rest for your how do you say that? For
Endurance times per rest.
endurance times per rest. Thank you. I endurance time per rest, you have the ability to draw the very life force out of a living creature. You may make a special unarmed attack against one's target AR by spending 4 AP. If successful, you deal 1d6 necrotic damage to the target and regain HP equal to the amount of damage dealt. Which is
It's damage and healing.
yeah, no, it's great.
And then the next one that we have is Draining Touch 2. Your Draining Touch, you need to be character level 10 and obviously have Draining Touch. Your Draining Touch now does 2d6 necrotic damage and heals you for the same amount.
Yeah, still just great. I mean, and then for the next one at level 20, you get to do 3d6 necrotic damage and heal for the same amount.
Yeah. And by the time you're level 20, especially if you like want to lean into using this ability, you should be able to use this ability about any time you get bloodied.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then yeah, so I would save it for either when I'm bloodied or I'm in death points.
Yeah. This is just I'm gonna use this when I get low. I'm in combat and I'm not going down just yet. Uh,
Yeah. I do wonder, and I'm probably going to bring this up to the team in a little bit. What is supposed to be uh like you're making attack against AR, but it doesn't say what you're attacking with. A special
Hmm.
unarmed attack, but it doesn't say what you're attacking with. Is it Dex? Is it Strength? Is it Fortitude?
Oh, that is very true.
Yeah. So I would say it's probably Strength or Dex. I would allow.
Mm-hmm.
But that's me. But I'm going to bring this up um very soon. So after
That's pretty
Draining
good.
Touch 3, we have Fiendish Endurance, and it is a repeatable skill. You gain +6 skill points that you can spend on any skills with the stamina tag. You cannot spend more than 4 points in a single skill this way. Skill points are skill points. They're amazing, and I love them.
Yep, love me some skills. Our next one is Infernal Influence, which is a repeatable, and we gain 6+ skill points that you can spend on any skill with the influence tag. You cannot spend more than 4 points on a single skill this way. Yeah, I mean, I always love picking a skill. I think it helps round out a character build wise, and it just helps like kind of build out who the character is with your skills. So I love when you can take them for your lineage.
Yeah, and like skills are important. I don't think I've ever run a session where we haven't done at least one skill check.
Oh yeah, I love making skill monkeys in games. I love having all the skills.
Even in our game Tales of Yavard, there is a line in one episode where I say, "Give me a awareness check because I can't let you all go a full episode without making a skill check for me."
You gotta roll some dice, man.
I mean, let's roll some dice in the dice game, guys. Anyway, so the next one that we have is Occult Affinity. Learn 2 rituals from the occult source of magic. Use your magic attribute. If you do not have one, use charisma.
I mean, I love all these little basic magic ones. It's so fun to just be able to have like a little tippy toe dip into magic, and or also just use it when you go to magic to make it so you get to
I mean, we can
knock
talk
2 things
about
off the list.
how broken certain occult rituals are.
Oh, there's some in build. We can definitely talk about it because I love me some occult rituals.
Right? I'm thinking Drums of the War God.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite is the flesh wings.
Yeah. I mean, even Devil Sight.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Right. There's some really great occult rituals that we can get into later. We'll get into the occult rituals when we do the long-awaited magic portion. It's coming, I promise, guys.
It's coming. Next we have Pact Maker. This is a bit of a big word one, so stick with me. It might take me a little bit. I don't want to trip over my words, but you have the ability to make binding deals with other intelligent creatures. If such a creature makes a willing bargain in exchange of either oath or blood, they become bound to the terms indefinitely or for a set amount of time specified in the pact, and suffer severe consequences should they be broken. If a creature breaks the term of its agreement, you may immediately attack their will with your charisma, provided that you're currently on the same plane of existence. On a hit, the creature becomes sickened for the next 24 hours and the pact ends. You can make a number of binding pacts equal to your charisma with a minimum of 1. You may end a pact in order to make a new one. If you do, the creature that was released from your pact immediately the creature that was released from your pact immediately when a pact is ended for any reason, both participants of the pact are aware. Sorry, that end there got me a little tripped up.
I mean, you did really good till you got right to the end. So, I'm gonna go back over it because
Yeah.
okay, you may end a pact in order to make a new one. If you do, the creature that was released from The creature. Oh, I feel like that's a wording issue. The creature that was released from your pack immediately. When a pack is ended for any reason, both participants are aware.
Is I think it's supposed to be is released from your pack immediately. You may end a pack in order to make a new one if you do that creature.
If
The
you
creature
do
that is released from
that
your
creature,
no, fuck, that is a
the
weird wording.
creature, like it could be the creature is released from your pack immediately.
hmm
I there's a fun.
I feel
Yeah,
less bad about tripping over my words now.
yeah. I wasn't upset with you about it. Like, how many times have I tripped over my words a time or two? Right. It was just I was having a problem keeping up, but that's because it's written weird. All right. After Packmaker, you have Virulent Vindication, which you need to have the Packmaker talent for, and if a creature violates its pact, then on a hit, you also deal 2d10 psychic damage to the creature. If you miss, the creature takes half damage and is sickened for the next hour. Which we talked about. Sickened is roll 2d20 and take the lower.
I love that so much. Um, the next one we have Wings of Darkness, which is you have to have blood transformation. And while your blood transformation feature is active, you sprout a pair of shadowy wings. While using your wings, your horizontal jump distance is doubled and you no longer take falling damage.
I mean, we talked earlier about I think it was me and Joey that talked, and like for the Dragonfolk thing, being immune to fall damage is just strong.
Yeah, it's surprisingly strong sometimes. It doesn't maybe come up as much as you would think it, but when it does come up, not having falling damage can lead to some really fun moments and some moments you're like, ha ha, you thought you got me. And those are always my favorite ability to pull out.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. There I know there are some moments coming in Tales of Yvard when someone can no longer take falling damage. And then, of course, I'm going to start pushing them off cliffs more.
Yeah, I love that too. It always gives it's fun when I mean I think MC should always incentivize what a character builds around. Because like to a certain extent, obviously building it doesn't make sense for the campaign, but like if someone building stuff that's really good at discovering stuff in the forest and stuff, and then all of a sudden like, oh well, guess what? You want to be in a forest, never gonna see one the whole campaign out of nowhere because you want it. It's just obviously that's the extreme, but I feel like this player I at least had people who have built like opposing what players build, and that's never fun. I hate being like antagonistic where it's like, oh, you want to build to do something this good? Well, you're never gonna have a chance to do it. I
Right. And okay, so to back up what you're saying, because I completely agree with you. Nobody who runs the game should ever feel like it is their job to counter the players at every occasion. Do
mm-hmm.
I challenge you with combat? Absolutely. Have I
Oh
killed
yeah.
off more of your characters than anyone else? Absolutely, I have.
So
Right?
someone who knows what it's like.
But you've always been able to do the cool shit that you wanted to do.
No, I love it. It's great,
Right?
and you do very well to do. Except when the dice tell me I can't, which when that's the dice
Hey,
telling a story.
if the
That's
dice
the
tell
dice
the story,
telling.
that's not on me, bud. You know. Um. This being said, um, I would like to do 4 examples. Because we have 4 sublineages,
Yep.
right? Maybe talk a little bit more about certain things. Um, So I'm gonna go first with my sanguineth blooded. Um, I did kind of start talking earlier. Like, I love the idea of using this because there's no range. I just all of a sudden choose that caster that's in the back, right? Like being like a troubadour, that is very like normally. And this is gonna be a little bit Jekyll and Hyde, I think. Most of the time, he uses a bunch of his stuff for like augmenting the party, as we both know they're so good at. And then as soon as he transforms, he starts using the debuff side
Mhm.
of the troubadour track, which is super strong as well,
Yeah,
right?
that's a really fun one.
And it's
Going down
just
the
like
Stonza track a lot, make him strong. Oh, I love that.
right, and then like because I'm going a high charisma character with going troubadour, and maybe I don't stay at troubadour the whole time. I don't think I've ever done a build where I stay one class the whole way.
Les definitely is not planned out for that for as far as I can see to be just full troubadour. First time I think I've built something like that, but when we get to the troubadour lesson learned, I think they'll see why I love
Oh yeah,
that class
we've
track so
talked about
much.
it on multiple occasions.
So
Um,
good. So
how it is
good.
a very strong class, but I also could see like a cleric. Uh, Again, like Jekyll and Hyde, very augmenting the party in fun and interesting ways, and then oh, you hit my boy, you're fucked. Kind of mentality, right?
No, I love that. Um, I think for the Melaneth blooded, I my first idea that comes to mind is I definitely think a witch. High endurance, high charisma, but it is the I think a real spooky dookie witch girl who is has the flying familiar scaring things, she's scaring things, very stereotypical I would play her, cackling, throwing potions and stuff. And she will transform, and this transformation just makes her the full badass witchy self, full green, skinned out, pointy hat stands on end, and her cackle is just that terrifying. I think this is just really fun flavor to add to a already kind of centered around the witch, to have this girl, she was cast into the swamps and away from society because of her fiendish nature, and then it's like, all right, I'm gonna fucking lean into it and just go creepy as shit in her little hut. You want to come in, she transformed, and you have to get out of there because she's making you. And don't fuck with the witch's hut.
Yeah, definitely don't fuck with the witch's hut. I'm also gonna give another. This one's gonna have all different kinds of character ideas in it
It's
because we have another 20 minutes to talk.
oh hell yeah, I got some ideas.
So another fun, I think, Melaneth blooded, um, would be. Oh, I didn't talk about what lineage talents I would take in my sanguinus. Oh well.
Oh, I didn't even.
We'll get into that. Another fun one would be like a frontliner. So I'm thinking like a zealot. Um, just high charisma, strangely divine in nature without having any actual divine magic. Knowing me, I'm gonna have some divine magic. But just running forward and burying himself in enemies, and then transforming, and now all of a sudden they have to run away because they're broken.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just frightened; they're broken.
Broken, yeah, so strong. That's such a funny way. I got crowd control in a way you wouldn't expect it.
Exactly, exactly. You know. So a couple of talents that I would go with the Sanguineth. I like blood transfusion. Just assuming that I want blood transformation 2 and 3 on all of these.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I also kind of like occult affinity for the Sanguineth
Yeah.
because we talked a little bit. There's a lot of fun to be had there, whether you're giving yourself Devil's Sight or your any of the other combos we talked about. Drums of the War God being probably one of my favorites for
So
that.
good.
Just making it so that you and all of your allies are rallied is just strong. Period.
Mm-hmm.
It's just strong.
No, it's really strong. It's rallied is such a fun condition.
Um, Especially if I'm playing that like supporter type with my Sanguineth.
Yeah, that's
Right. I probably don't go down Packmaker. I probably do grab Wings of Darkness because it's strong.
mm-hmm.
Get flying strong.
Yeah, it's strong.
You know. Um,
I think for my Melanith blooded, I would probably have a very similar one. Uh, I would go down, uh, probably blood transformation at least one. I like it twice a rest. I'm thinking claws because you know those old witchy claws. You gotta have them. Probably occult affinity because I think if I'm going to be going into occult casting, getting 2 rituals off my list for free, pretty much, I think it just helped me get a real good list of stuff I can do as a caster, which I love having a big list as a caster.
right.
Um, yeah, I think that would probably be my Melaneth. Stick down that route, and then probably other wings because wings are great.
Right. Wings are fun, and like obviously, you could also take any of the repeatable talents here, guys. Um, any of them would work perfectly fine.
mm-hmm.
Now, my Kolareth, my war machine. I blood transformation, obviously, so that I can tell my allies, let's get shit done.
Yep.
Follow me into battle, brothers. You know, blood for the blood gods, all of that fun shit.
Blood for the blood gods. I love it.
Um, so obviously, I want blood transformation 2 and 3 when I can get them.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm charging headline into battle. I want draining touch.
Yep.
Um, 1, 2, and 3, all of them. I'm gonna be a relatively high endurance anyway, uh, as is smart for anyone that wants to be a frontliner. So I'm gonna be
Mm-hmm.
able to use it quite frequently. So I'm imagining almost like a pugilist kind of thing of like I grab them and then draining touch while
Oh
I'm
yeah.
holding them grappled.
Punch you in the face, auto grab it, and then.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Oh, who is that from Mortal Kombat where he kind of rips your essence out with one of his
Oh,
finishers?
I know you're talking about, but my brain is so bad with names. It's gonna come to me as soon as we end stream.
Yeah, me too. But you could kind of pull that off with draining
Oh,
touch.
100%. I actually love that.
Um,
Um, for our Fleg brother, Flegmarith, I have a plague zealot in mind. Um, so this
and
is
not okay.
hmm?
A plague zealot. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So a plague zealot with a dip into some occult magic, but they use the blood transformation to give their gifts of the zealot god they're under. They are like they look up to the plague for their god they're a zealot of. They are there to do their blessings. They would go down the pact maker and they would influence people to make pacts to get themselves sick and to turn them into more plagues. And he would do it all as gifts of blessings of the plague and stuff. He would probably go down the blood transformation, of course, because you gotta influence it. And Probably actually down a bit of the infernal influence a few times because he's very much so. He wants to convince people to join him, get sick, enjoy the sickness, take a sip of my plague stew, and be blessed, my brother. As he uses that as yeah, that's my
Okay.
initial.
Alternate plague. Alternate Flimereth idea. Plague Doctor Tinkerer.
See, Plague Doctor's great, but I didn't want to bring up vote and stuff. I thought we weren't doing that yet.
Yeah, no, you got me on that. You got me on that.
Because trust me, my original idea was 100% that.
You got me on that. You got me on that.
Because no, but yeah.
But I also just love the idea of you could just be a doctor too, a zealot doctor. Just straight up be a doctor.
Yeah, you with a really really high mortality rate.
Well, not even that, right? Like you just know the human body well enough that you can keep them alive with this sickness, so that they can spread it to more people and more people and more people.
Oh, that's so twisted. I love it.
Listen, I did not say this is a good aligned character, my dude.
Oh, definitely.
Not that there's alignment in that kind of way in Mythcraft, but this is definitely like a very not good aligned kind of character. But I could see that, right? Like maybe a slightly mentally unstable doctor that is trying to incubate the perfect disease.
Just be a perfect cure. You know, sometimes people need to get sick to be cured.
I mean, I could also see that too, right? Like another thing is like you didn't know you were a fiend blood until you were 16.
Mm-hmm.
Like depending on your lineage, you could have already been studying to be a doctor, and now you're trying to find the cure to the disease that you spread.
That's so good. To hit one of the other ones I haven't for a Kolareth, which is another one that I think would be a warrior zealot combo. Okay. It would be Aura of Aggression Zealot to just add more to that damage when they hit. Mm-hmm. And then a battlefield command warrior to get everybody in and just hit in as much as possible with all that damage boost around it.
Yeah. And which this is a lot of fun because both of the two abilities that you said about, one of them only works on your allies. Mm-hmm. Equal to your charisma. So you're going to want to make sure that you have, for 2 allies, it is only 2 allies.
Oh, yeah, that is true. I mean, I guess you could spend multiple AP to do it for more than one person, though, because I didn't say there's a limit to how many Inspires could be up.
Right. But that's 4 AP per, my dude.
Hey, if you're the command master, you just sit there behind your tower shield and it's like, do better, do better, do better, do better, do better, do better.
I'm not saying it's a bad idea, right? I was just like, I took like, even if it is just 2 people doing +2 damage, that's that's +2 damage per hit for a number of rounds.
You have a pugilist on your team who's doing 20 fucking punches a turn with +2 damage.
Yeah, right. Like it'll definitely benefit your.
Drop a circle of haste. I know it's to enemies too, but drop a circle of haste with the pugilist next to you, 2 pugilists around you, and just punching so many times. You would just death by 1,000 cuts at that point with so many +2s getting thrown around.
Yeah. Especially if we go Aura Aggression with all that too.
Oh my god. You're just getting exploded. I have to talk to Jesse about a new combo.
But yeah, no, that is a fun idea. Another fun one you could do is just like be that like battlefield commander that likes to stay at mid range and choose 2 archers that are just using 2 AP short bows,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they're gonna have a pretty good range. A short bow is like 200 feet in Mythcraft, so they're gonna hit pretty much anything on the battlefield wherever they are. And it's 2 AP, which is just as strong as a lot of your.
Yep. Oh, that's so much fun.
So it's just bow, 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 and gone. Like,
Do they have to stay within 30 feet of you?
I would say no.
I think that I might actually ask that question just for clarification, because now I want to do a warbringer on a horse who rides around the battlefield, inspiring people throughout the field. Oh my god!
But yeah, no, that is super strong. Do you have one for my Sanguineth?
Oh, Sanguineth. That, let me check that. That is that one. So I mean, my real thought was definitely a troubadour, but let me look at. I think I can. The other one I was looking at for that was. Let me read it again to make sure I'm thinking the right one. Yeah, into a yeah, and the frenzy. I think this one is really fun for a the oracle. I think it's down the weird wood track. I think this is it was like you have that the kind of like druidy sitting in the forest. It's like not very much so into doing violence itself, and it has like lots of animal companions, and when it needs to it reverts to like that occult violence, but even then it still has a bit to want to make other people do its fighting for it. So it's like, I'm gonna have your party take care of itself because you came into my edge of the forest. Lots of animal companions that have like some weird dark rituals on it and stuff. And just when you transform, you're stepped into the wrong fucking part of the forest and you're going crazy. And all of a sudden, your whole party is fighting each other, and this weird druid lady just there laughing at you, riding her demented boar.
I mean, yeah, okay, that does sound like a lot of fun.
I think I definitely think they're very good. Like they add just such good little flavor and such a good little thing to add to like almost any build. I think can make these abilities work really well, which I think is good for a feature or a lineage that is for almost any other lineage. You have that kind of a base, so it feels good that these are like very like not supplemental, but these abilities are just fucking really driving you to like flavor that part of you as the fiend blood. Like it's I think they do really are really fun for character building wise as well as just also being really fun abilities.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like the more that we do lesson learned, um, the more I find myself like thinking I need to do more characters.
Hey, I never feel like I have enough characters. Doing this episode makes me want to do the Oops All Fiend Blood meme campaign we always make jokes about way more. Because I just even the flavor between the 4 different ones, like they're all like it feels so it really hits all the fucking archetypes of like fiends when you like really like first come to mind to think about. Like it hits like that plague loving one, the real creepy one, the all like the one who just loves like it's uh I have a very deep love for your fiend blood, especially after reading through them even more doing this. It's like
Yeah,
I
and
think
this has definitely been one of the advantages of doing lesson learned. It's just like learning more about everything as
mm-hmm.
we sit here and discuss with all of our lovely fans and everything else of like, hey, this is what we know. And here's some more shit for you guys. Right? And like the more that we do this, the more that I do this, the more I'm like, I want to make hundreds of characters in Mythcraft. And I get that's the point of the game is to get you to want to play. Okay.
They got me.
Yeah, they got me. They got me hard, man. They got me like hard, and not like that, yo.
I mean, shit. I couldn't build enough characters, so I'm now MCing, so I can build a bunch of NPCs that hopefully one day might become characters. That's how I love building stuff. I love making stats for this game. I'm addicted to Mythcraft.
Yeah, I Mythcraft has quickly overshadowed a lot of other games for me. Um,
Yep.
Up to the point of doing Tales of Yvard and Lesson Learned, right?
And
And
with the plans, I mean, with like the talked about future of like, because they're doing, I mean, as the eons go on and there's like the future space ones and stuff, they'll take over the rest of my game because most of the games I play that aren't Mythcraft are the sci-fi stuff, and they're doing that eventually in Mythcraft. So I'll just be playing Mythcraft forever is what it's looking like at this point.
I don't think that's a problem, my dude.
It's not a complaint in the slightest.
But yeah, so like we've seen what we've gotten from the different super eons,
Mm-hmm.
uh, which has made me super excited to keep going forward.
God, yeah, I'm happy I got on when I did to see it grow and do everything it is, but I'm also like, I don't want to wait. I want it all now. Give it to me. I'm so impatient.
I understand you're impatient, but we
No,
have enough
they do
content
great
to cover
work.
for a while.
Yeah, and the work they have given us is fucking amazing and great. So it's like take all the time to keep making great work like this, and I'm happy to see it.
Listen, I would rather they take a year and give us excellent top-notch content than them
Mm-hmm.
to put out shitty content every 20 weeks.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And so far, they have not been disappointing with the top-notch content a year, right? Like, it's been
Mm-hmm.
great.
I'm so excited. It's looking forward to everything going forward with it too. It's yeah.
Yeah, so am I. However, I do think that's everything that we're gonna have for tonight. Um, I know normally we run a little bit longer, but they didn't have as many features as certain other classes, or maybe my ADHD didn't kick in. We didn't just bamf enough.
I think for once, me and you didn't get into tangents the way we do. We usually get into tangents about just MCing and other stuff.
Okay, and I mean we did a little bit here too, but because players should always be allowed to do the cool things that their build says they can do. Anyway,
Yep.
but we also hyper fixated on the blood transformation abilities.
Yeah, it is. It's so fucking cool.
It is. It is. Honestly, to me, it is probably the strength of the Fiend Blood class or lineage. And that almost hurts to say, like, but I feel like it's one of the strongest points of the lineage is those features for the blood transformation.
Yeah, I definitely I agree. It I guess I kind of this is I think just a little thing with me and Myth in general, but is that ones like the Fiend Blood and Radine, they kind of lose. Oh, sorry, I know we're going a little over, but I'm doing it now.
No, we're
Fuck.
good.
They
Keep going.
they kind of lose the lineage they originally were from in them. Which the undead at least did that one thing with like the little bit, which is not talking about another one, but you get a bit of that old lineage. I almost wish there was something like that within the Radine and something, and within the Fiend Blood to kind of give it a little bit of the other bit of it, because you are something else that became a Fiend Blood, or you're something else that has the technology of Radine, and it does feel like you kind of lose that in the features you get. So I would even if it's just a choice, I think it would be fun to have the choice to have like a bit of the old bit of you.
I can hear you. However, this is going to be my argument, especially with the Fiend Blood. You just because you don't always look like a Fiend Blood does not mean you were not always a Fiend Blood.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Very
Like
true.
this is the lineage you've always been.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that have transformations baked into the description, 100% agree with you, right?
Yeah.
I will not argue that with you. But with the fiend blood, it is very specific about you look like it.
Yeah, until
You
you become 16. Very true.
so I that's my one main argument with that.
No, 100%. I mean, that's why we have these tangents, so we could talk about it and get the other opinions. Because I definitely do not disagree with that in all sense at all.
You know, and they're gonna send me down a way too weird rabbit hole. Not gonna continue with that line of thought. At least not recorded. Um, but yeah, no, I would like to thank everybody for watching us tonight. Thank everybody that watches in post. If you want to see how we handle fiend bloods in our world of Yavard, spoiler alert, we don't.
They're on an island that hasn't fallen yet. Hopefully, if things go right, we won't.
Spoiler alert, we don't.
But yeah, and if you want to, please let us know what other topics you would like us to cover and what lineage you would like us to see next in our next things of Lesson Learned.
All right. Thank you all.